It wasn't a stretch to say that Athene was the greatest of the goddesses on planet Cytha-1. She knew things that the others wouldn't know for countless rotations on her planet. Because of this sometimes, she became bored of watching the others through their standard training and schooling, learning how to have dominion over the animals and the land. She had gone through their levels of combat and grew fond of the ancient staff weapons on display in the chambers of wisdom. They were not only unbreakable, but they had to be earned through a ritual tournament, battling her fellow gods and goddesses, for it wasn't something that she looked forward to. Despite their mental shortcomings, she did care for them and respect them. Her wisdom grew because she always looked at the others' feelings, though to their hearts and intentions. She always looked at others who had strength far greater than the tribes of Cytha-1. Sometimes she learned their combat techniques in her living quarters. Most of the goddesses banded together in a type of pantheon. Some of the gods often roamed about exercising their gifts and power over the many animals on Cytha-1. The goddess watched some of their battles and celebrated their many victories. Athene had a few close friends, but for the most part she adventured alone, soaring through the clouds when her mind grew heavy, pondering the future of the planet. It was finally time to enter the tournament, in which she could be granted the weapon that she desired. Sadly, 4 of her close friends entered the tournament as well. Through the many battles, she hoped to avoid matching with them, but in the end, it came down to a fierce battle with a goddess called Altoria that outranked her in the hierarchy of Cytha. Athene didn't feel inferior to her challenger in any way, because she knew that it was power and skill and experience that truly mattered. Athene had far more experience than Altoria in battle. The battle was still a long process for Altoria, believing herself superior, pushed herself harder and harder. She had to win in 4 divisions. Unarmed combat was first, next was wrestling, the next was weaponry. The final obstacle was a course in the skies of Cytha-1. After her victory, Athene was granted a powerful ancient staff with a magic spear at the end. It had many capabilities, and she was grateful. Athene's victory at the tournament also came with a title. She was now to lead the gods and goddesses into future battles against the sea creatures. She refused the position, realizing it would hinder her individual pursuits in her life. The counter-argument from the gods was that they were immortal. Time wasn't their enemy. Athene was wise. She countered with the fact that a considerable force from beings on other worlds and galaxies could in fact kill them. No one was truly invincible. Outraged at her defiance, many turned away from her. She was reading too many books and scrolls to believe in the gods and goddesses' superiority over all in the universe. Her close friends, however, did not even know the universe existed. They would have accepted the title, but they admired her even more for being strong enough to refuse such a high honor. There were 4 goddesses that went on adventures with her in the depths of Cyntha's lush forests and mountainous caves. The ancient treasures that was within was worth the dangers. The gods and goddesses of Cytha-1 had enemies, but many of them stared clear of them. For instance, the goblins were no match for them in hand-to-hand combat. They had to rely on magic and trickery. There were massive creatures, summoned by the water tyrant Nicias. He wanted to be king of the gods, because he believed the true origins of the gods came from water. He went on and on about how lightning from above struck the waters of Cytha-1, creating the first living cellular structures with awareness. The old wars were against Nicias and his gilded warriors.